What is going on? Welcome to Greggles TV. This is a very hot topic on, should you upgrade to a Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra? And it's a question that I think a lot of you are like, no, I'm not upgrading. It's not worth it. I'm going to come from it from a more positive side because of the fact that, when I get a new phone, it's very, very rare. I can't even remember really, where I'm like, dude, totally not worth the upgrade. Nothing was worth about it. It's not a great phone. It's not this, it's not that. Now, I'll admit there aren't a lot of huge differences versus the S24 Ultra, but there are some, and ultimately some of those things are gonna make a bigger picture, just like the Fold 5 to the Fold 6 was a nice little upgrade in certain ways. So S25 Ultra, I think the first thing obviously is the 0.1 inch display increase, and because of that you're going to get a little bit more screen real estate. It's a little bit bigger of a display, and when you get a bigger display, sometimes it's more enjoyable when you're consuming content with social media or videos or gaming, those types of things. And when you have that, you end up probably using the device more than you would have expected. I know going from, for instance, like a regular slab phone like the S24 or whatever, 24 Ultra, and then go into a Z Fold 6. For me, it's like I'm so in love with the Fold line, but I can see, if you're going from something smaller to one of these bigger phones like the 25 Ultra, or even coming from a 24 Ultra to a 25 Ultra, it's gonna feel different because the design is different. And that's one of the other things, you're getting a 0.1 inch display bigger, but then they've rounded the corners now on this phone, and it's a little bit different of a design. Obviously the camera modules are pretty similar and the overall front of the phone looks very similar, but I think this will probably end up being easier to hold because of the rounded corners instead of the sharp edges going around the phone. That will be actually more comfortable. I know when I hold, for instance, like I go from an iPhone to a Galaxy Ultra phone, sometimes, it's like the iPhone feels a little bit more comfortable because of the rounded corners, and we're gonna get that with the 25 Ultra. So more comfort, a slightly different design, and a little bit bigger, and I stress a little bit bigger, of a display on there. Next would be the 25 watt Qi 2 wireless charging. Now, to take advantage of that, you have to buy a Qi 2 wireless charger, and you'll have to get the Ultra phone because that's the only one that will do it. But if you're a big wireless charging fan, going from 15 watts now to 25 watts is going to cut down on your charging time a lot, because that's a big increase. It doesn't sound like a watt, 10 watts, but it is. You're gonna go from basically, what did it take, hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours with 15 watts. Now it'll drop down to probably about 90 minutes, maybe even less, when you're wirelessly charging on that phone. And that's, again, really, really nice to have that. It's a new upgrade to the phone, so why not take advantage of it? 16 gigs of RAM. Now, not all the versions of the Ultra will get 16 gigs, but throw in a free storage upgrade, and then you also get your RAM upgrade if you get that. So why wouldn't you want to do that? Why wouldn't you want to get the 16 gigs of RAM to prolong the life of your phone as these phones get older? Having 16 gigs of RAM is going to help a lot, and it's just a major reason why you'd want to get the 16 gigs of RAM, especially if you're keeping this for the longevity of it. But even if you're not keeping it for the longevity of it, you're going in from the point of, these phones are used all the time. You want to have a great experience with it. Not that 12 gigs won't give you a good experience for the foreseeable future, but having the extra 4 gigs of RAM will help with gaming, will help with running multiple high intensity apps and games and whatever else you're doing on your phone. It'll just perform better. And for basically free, especially if they give it to us with the free storage upgrade, why not? Snapdragon 8 Elite, this is a huge reason. There's massive, massive gains. In benchmark scores, it's going from almost basically 1,000 points score more, which is crazy because these are only at they're going from 2,000 to 3,000, and then 10,000 to 11, whatever the multi-core scores are. These scores are crazy difference. You're getting up to 45% more performance on this Snapdragon 8 Elite, as well as better battery performance versus the previous generation. And then even if you go further back, if you have a phone that's like a 20, 21, 22, which maybe it'll still run well, this processor will absolutely eat its eat it for dinner. It will destroy it. And you know, again, longevity, per day-to-day performance, even today, gaming, anything you do, this thing is going to rip through it. It's literally the fastest processor coming from Android. And next up, we get the latest and greatest. I always say that, like, for me, even without a channel, one of the reasons I always wanted to upgrade, I always wanted the latest and the greatest, and so on. And to have that is always it's fun. It's exciting to always get the newest phone, the newest gadget, and be one of the first people on your street or your friends to have that and kind of show it off and be like, oh, this is cool, see what it can do with the phone. Like, that's awesome. I love that. And speaking of the latest and greatest, if you throw in there the new software tweaks with One UI 7 that the other phones will probably eventually get but don't have right now, with some of the newer now bar features and all the AI stuff thrown in there. There's tons of new AI features in the S25 series in general. It just adds to that latest and greatest and new feeling for the phone. The last one is, if I had to bet which phone would get phone of the year, this would be a pretty much easy bet to throw at. The S25 Ultra getting phone of the year from basically tons of different publications, have them be, Android publications or non-Android publications. It'll be this phone, the iPhone, and maybe the Pixel phone when the new one comes out. But those phones are usually, iPhone and Galaxy are just going head to head against each other. And I would be, if I was a betting man, I would definitely throw it on the 25 Ultra. It seems like easy money, easy bet. Why does it always win it? Because it's even though it doesn't change that much year over year over year, it still is one of the best phones, if not the best phone that you can get at the end of the year. And you look back at all the phones that came out and you're like, you know what? The build quality, the performance, the features, the software, everything about the phone, you're like, totaling everything up, it's a pretty badass phone. Let me know your thoughts though on this. If you want to pick it up, link down below, take advantage of some great pre-order deals and all that stuff, and let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road. Peace.